Hey, you guys, thanks for joining us. We're here with the Rock Sports Report with special teams captain, guru, number 25 from the Chargers, Darrell Stuckey. Darrell, how you doing today, man?
I'm
Thanks
doing
for coming
good.
in.
How are you?
Great, man. Great. So how you feeling?
I'm good. Appreciate you having me today.
Hey, let's get right into it. Congratulations on making team captain for the Chargers. Tell me how that feels and why do you think you were chosen to be captain?
I think in my life, it's always been a goal. You're always working and striving towards something, especially when you're on a team. And I think especially being in the NFL, like your biggest admiration is from your team. Like you want them to not only accept you, but respect you. And in the NFL, you don't get any respect until you prove yourself on the field. And then once you prove yourself on the field, that's when they start looking at you. That's when they start watching you, start observing you. For me, I think it happened the other way around. I was observed as soon as you walked in because everybody knew what I stood for. Everybody could see that I was maybe a little bit different. This energetic guy, hyper, nice, very caring guy walking around. Like, this guy may be too happy to be a good football player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it's a different story on the field. I mean, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help my team win within the rules of the game. So it's one of those things to where it's exciting. It means a lot, and it tells you that your teammates respect you, they look up to you, and they trust you to represent them to the best of your ability.
Did you have any idea that you were going to make captain?
Not really, until I was sitting next to Robert Meacham, and he's sitting there filling out his paper, and he goes, shoot, ain't nobody else but 25.
Explain to us, what's the process of making team captain?
The process of making team captain, we go through the entire training camp. And when we go through the training camp, at the conclusion of it, after the final cut is made, which is a tough day, the team comes in and you start going through that first week of preparations for the first game. And that Thursday or Friday, during a team meeting, they pass out sheets of paper that has two offensive players, a line for two offensive players, a line for two defensive players, and a line for one special teams player that will represent the team as a captain. And based on the players' votes, so they write in the name or number of the player they think, and the coaches tally them up, and they report back to us who got the most votes.
So it's strictly, the team picks
Strictly
them
the
strictly?
team. Strictly the team.
I did not know that.
So it's strictly the players. So that's what it means so much, when
Yeah.
your players can look up to you and trust you with that. And a lot of it goes into it in the NFL, I believe. I mean, I like to believe that usually the player that they pick is usually a player that they expect to be a big contributor in that part or that aspect of the game, and that has a lot of respect and a lot of poise, and is a leader for that unit also. So.
But you were injured for a good part of the preseason.
Yeah.
So that's, you know.
That was scary. That really made me think that, it's going to be tough if I'm ever going to be considered to be a captain. So I didn't even really think about captain until the vote came. You know what I mean? And it was a scary thing. I mean, anytime you got to deal with a concussion in life, I mean, it's tough. I mean, because if it's not treated the correct way, then it can linger. And if it lingers, then it can pose damages in the future. But as long as you let it heal, in which they did, we took the proper precautions. There's no real test to really know for sure if the symptoms are, unless you just look at the symptoms. The symptoms are the only thing that tell you whether it's still there or not. So we waited till all the symptoms were gone, and I got back out there and was able to get back into the groove of things, and it felt pretty good. So yeah, it was a scary thing. So I was out there for the first game, the preseason game, and had a big impact in that one game in the quarter or the half I played. And helped cause a turnover right there, the first kickoff that set the tone for like the rest of our preseason. So, and I think the players really were very fond of that, and my work ethic in practice speaks volumes.
So let's shift gears here a little bit. We know on the field, you know, you work hard. You're in your third season. You're young. You're already chosen by your peers as team captain. Your career is blossoming. But off the field, I know life is important for you off the field as well. One of the things I know about you is that you're active in the community. You're active within your church. Share with us why you're so active in the community.
I think in life, to be very good at something, you have to have balance. And I think if you are a person who gives your all into your work, into what you do for a living, you have to find something to balance in that, to give back.
Tell me a little bit about the shoe drive you guys did last week, and how you saw that impact some kids that probably don't get new shoes that often.
Man, it was awesome. The Chargers annual back to school shoe giveaway, it was amazing because being in that position to share that moment with those kids, I mean, we had 4 different locations, and there was over 200 kids that came through each location.
Speaking of kids, right? Speaking of kids, we know that you and your wife will be expecting a child.
Yes, we will.
And share with me kind of how you're feeling right now, how your wife is feeling, and just that part of your life.
It's a blessing. To have kids is a blessing that God gives us, because it's a life that's a part of you forever. You know what I mean? And it's something that you have control over, directing them in the right direction in the way which they may go, so they may not stray.
Yeah.
And because the world is so much out there, but it's your responsibility to make sure this kid is well taken care of and is nurtured.
So obviously, faith is important in your life.
Yes.
Darrell, as I hear you speak, what role does faith play in your life?
Faith is my core. I would say it's the core of my life. If you don't have something that's steady in your life, something that you can hold on to no matter what goes on, whether good or bad, then what are you living for? Then how can you make it in and out of whatever circumstances you're in if your life is based on circumstances? If you're based on faith, you're not worried about the circumstances, because no matter what you are, you're going to stay grounded in what you believe.
So if someone's hearing this and they know Darrell Stuckey is a pro NFL player, Darrell Stuckey is a special teams team captain, and Darrell Stuckey is a baller, but they just found out that Darrell Stuckey also has faith in Jesus Christ, what would you encourage that person hearing you to kind of, what would be your encouragement for them?
That if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And I chose to stand for God because I know for a fact that he died and rose again for me and to save my life and everybody else who didn't even know of him, who may not even care for him. But he didn't do it because he wanted to get the credit. He didn't do it because he thought it would be cool. He did it because he cared so much. He loved so much. And if us as individuals could share that love to each other and get to know God for ourselves, because it's not about the denomination. That's not going to save you. It's not going to protect you. It's not going to make you a better person. It's about the relationship itself and modeling yourself after Jesus Christ.